Hey guys, this is Tauna. Today we're going to be talking about a couple different things. First of all, a pretty big change to Secret Lairs and Universes Within, and then another kind of very interesting thing with a potential new Universe Beyond thing being investigated at the moment. So some quick notes before we get started, because I always kind of say this when we're talking about Universes Beyond stuff, because I know that is a big heated topic within the community. Now, I like Universes Beyond myself. I, enjoy playing it. I've got a whole bunch of different, Universes Beyond decks and stuff like that. But I will say, just keep it civil down in the comments, guys, whether you like or whether you hate Universes Beyond. Other people are other people, whether they're people working at Wizards or they're just people down in the comments. Just try and keep it civil, please. We also are on our way to 10,000 subscribers. We are one of the best places for you guys to get up-to-date news, silly brews, cards to pick up, pre-con reviews, all that kind of stuff. So I'd love if you guys could subscribe. It would just, make my day. I, have 1 month and a half, 2 months ish to hit another 1,200 subscribers. I think we could get there. So yeah, if you guys could subscribe, that would just be amazing. So starting off with the Secret Lair stuff. So the original announcement, and I'll show you guys the original announcement and the new one, was that mechanically unique Secret Lairs would get a Universes Within version roughly 6 months after they were printed, that would be on the list and in the Magic universe and considered equivalent game pieces. Keep in mind that the list no longer exists. They got rid of the list when they got the play boosters. There's secret guests and stuff like that, but there's no actual list anymore. The list is gone. That creates an issue there where they needed to find somewhere else to kind of do this. That's two completely different things, though. I think is getting rid of the list, I think, is very different to what they're announcing now. They're two very different things. So this was one of the original verses they did of it. So they had Nagan from the Walking Dead Secret Lairs, and then they introduced Malik Grim Manipulator. So you can see they've got exactly the same text box, except for, one says different character names on it. They are essentially the same character. You can't have both of them within your commander deck. You can only choose one of them. The only difference is the art on it. One is set within the actual Magic multiverse, one of the universes. I think these ones were Strixhaven, but they can be essentially anywhere. Was it Strixhaven? I might be completely wrong about that. I can't remember which universe these guys were from. No, it was was it New Capenna? Maybe it was New Capenna. Either way, these were during a time when Secret Lairs were very different properties to what was being printed in sets. So this is not like, with Lord of the Rings, where Lord of the Rings got a full set, or Marvel has a full set. These were when they were introducing stuff, and this stuff was all you were getting for that universe. So we were getting no other Walking Dead cards, no other Stranger Things cards, etc. It was just there. So far, the D&D ones are about 20 months ago. However, they did, there was a Polygon article that said that they weren't going to do universes within of the D&D characters. However, I think that's going to play into what I'm going to talk about in a second. They said they weren't going to do universes within of them, but Lara Croft is 12 months ago, and I don't think we've heard anything about what's going on with it, besides the fact that they are looking into it, essentially. So the initial announcement was this one here. For players who don't mind waiting or prefer cards and characters set in the Magic multiverse, we have you covered as well. For the next Universe's Secret Beyond, we're going to create and print versions of the mechanically unique ones that are set in the Magic multiverse roughly 6 months after their release in Secret Lair. So the in-Magic universe will be on the list, findable in set boosters for as long as players are still interested in opening them. To start, they'll appear on the list more frequently than other cards to make them easier to find. In the future, they may reprint them in other products. We'll have that flexibility. So they did actually do that recently with the Aminatu Precon, I believe it was. They reprinted the Avinox, I think his name is, which was technically one of the secret lair characters from the Stranger Things one. These cards will be considered equivalent game pieces, meaning you can only play 4 copies of them in 4 copies of either the Magic version or the Universes Beyond card in your deck. They're essentially the same card, just with different art. Additionally, we're expanding the time frame that Secret Lair is available to expand access. That's irrelevant because of the fact that they then went and made it so that it was not purchased to order anymore or print to demand. It was like a set printing amount, and then so I don't know why I copy pasted that part besides to frustrate myself. This was the new one that they said. Much has changed since our initial plan on how to get mechanically unique cards from secret lairs into players' hands who didn't purchase the secret lair drop. In the article we published, it said they'll be appearing on the list in set boosters. Both things that don't exist anymore. So I think that's a kind of cop out, saying the list doesn't exist and set boosters don't exist anymore, because I think they could have figured out a way to do it. So we're evaluating best how to do it, and we're still working on the details. I can share 2 points. Like, that's the whole thing about special guests, though. Just put them on the special guests and then make the special guests show up more often. I guess that kind of might have negative effects on limited, I think is the thing. Like, I think that's one of the things they want to avoid, is it having a negative effect on limited, but who knows. We want to make sure that players who aren't able to purchase the secret lair have access to the card mechanically. The non-secret lair version will always be different from what the secret lair offered, but we might keep the same name representing the same character, object, or place. AKA, it won't always be a universe within version. So I think this is a big bit. This is a big part of it, because essentially, as I said before, when they were printing these original secret lairs, they weren't printing within that universe at the same time. Say, for example, let's say talk about the Iron Man and, those Marvel ones that are coming out. Those ones are coming out. They're specifically set within the Marvel multiverse and everything, but they are from a secret lair. So now they've got the Spider-Man set coming out. Now they can take those cards and print them as special guests within the Spider-Man set. Does that make sense to everyone? I guess, but the thing is that the special guests would already influence, like, some of the special guests are bloody good, already influence limited that way. Anyway, so now they can take, Tony Stark, and they can print Tony Stark in the Iron Man, Genius Innovator or whatever. They can print him within a actual Marvel set with that exact name, those exact everything. It's not a universes within version, but it is printed in a way that everyone's going to be able to get it. There's not going to be a single way to do this. Each secret lair might have its own solution. The intention is that we'll make sure a version of that mechanical card is always available somewhere, is made available somewhere other than from purchase directly from our site. So in other words, make it available in... Okay, that's another thing here, is it says make sure a version of that card is always available. It does not say that that version does not need to be within play boosters or boosters at all. So it could technically print it within precons, right? They will change the art of it. It will be different. You're not going to be getting the secret lair version within it. It's most likely, how they've got the borderless arts for the secret lairs now. They will do a non-borderless version of it, or it will have different art or something like that. You'll still have your unique secret lairs. It's just someone else can get that same card now rather than a universes within. Now, all right, as much as I love Universes Within, Universes Beyond, I know there are people who don't like Universes Beyond, and that they would have liked Iron Man to come back as Brutaclad or something like that, like a new version of Brutaclad or whatever. So I think that's a little bit disappointing that they're not going to do that with the secret lair stuff. But then again, they're not doing it with all of the other hundreds of cards that they're releasing, like Gandalf, for example. They're not going to print a Universes Within version of Gandalf just so those people who don't want to play with that can play with that, if that makes sense. Which I guess is the thing where kind of the proxying is going to come in, because previously people were kind of proxying and they were taking their, universes within character, like, you know, Zimone, and then they're turning Zimone into a different character that they really loved or something. Like my Miss Bumbleflower deck is has a proxy for Aurora from League of Legends as the face commander because, you know, bunny. But yeah, I guess it's going to be, you're going to have to make your own, essentially, is what it's kind of saying there. So next on to the next part of it about the Star Wars. So they are potentially investigating a upcoming set that is a collaboration between Magic the Gathering and Star Wars. Now, obviously, you know, the fact that this has got to the point that they are asking about it, I think is a big thing, because that's kind of like, we have likely started investigating this. It's not like a, hey, this might be something we might look into in the future. This is like a thing that they're investigating. Now, this was obviously not going to happen within the next kind of, what, 3 years, I'd say. I might be completely out of it there. 3 years, I'd say, because of the fact that they do work so far ahead, but it is something that they are looking into. It also specifically mentions a set. Also, this whole part here is talking about the original Star Wars as well, not about the, like, you know, Phantom Menace or anything. And also, yeah, it's talking about, you know, a crossover here, which would be very interesting. Personally, I'm a big fan of Star Wars, so I would like to see it myself. And as I said, you know, I have no problem with Universes Beyond stuff. In fact, I love some of the flavors that they've given the Universes Beyond characters, kind of capturing these characters really, really well. It doesn't make a lot of sense, though, I guess, is the thing. Like, maybe just money. So Star Wars currently has their own TCG that they've got started not that long ago. I think it was only like a year ago. And they've had other TCGs in the past as well. And at least my LGS, it's going really well, right? Like, making a MTG set, I would have thought would pull people away from that. But then again, there is some crossover between them, and the Unlimited does feel kind of Commander-esque in that you're building a deck around a character and stuff. Like, you got your character up there in your base, and you're building your deck around it. It's also quite different, but it's similar. Maybe they're thinking they could do, like, you know, some, not crossover cards, because the cards aren't like mechanically like that, but they could do some kind of like promotional crossover kind of stuff, which would be very cool. Yeah, hi. But keep in mind as well that Marvel also has their own like trading card games. So yeah, I know you need them. Here you go, you take it to Jazzy and he can open it. Marvel has their own trading card games as well, but they are very different because this is an actual TCG where you're opening randomized packs and getting random cards and stuff. While these ones here are living card games. When you purchase a upgrade, or, you know, a booster essentially of Marvel Champions, all the cards in it are set. You're getting the exact same cards every single time. But they also have like Marvel Snap and stuff. You know, I think that there's been a few things where there've been multiple card games, as well as Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy actually has a TCG as well, like with randomized boosters and everything. And then they're obviously bringing out a Magic TCG for it. So I don't think the fact that they have Unlimited discounts the fact that they could introduce their own. It just comes kind of down to licensing and stuff. And obviously, you know, they're already in talks with Disney because they're doing Marvel. So I'd love to hear from you guys as to what you think about these two things. One, the universes within, and two, the Marvel Star Wars, the Star Wars crossover collaboration and everything. I hope you guys had a great day. Goodbye.